All right, let's dive into something pretty relatable, I think, friendships and family dynamics. We got this YouTube video, Learn English with Podcast Conversation, episode 5, English Podcast for Beginners. And honestly, even though it's for language learners, it brings up some universal truths about these relationships, don't you think?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the need for connection, that feeling of belonging, it really is universal no matter what language you speak or what culture you're from.
Totally. So the video, it starts off with this person, they're feeling down because they don't think their friends really get them.
Yeah,
I think we've all been there at some point, right?
definitely. I think it highlights the difference between, just acquaintances and those true friends. And the video really makes this point. True friends are there when you need them. They offer support. They understand. They stick around through the good times and the bad times.
Yeah, consistency. That's huge for a true friend. And they even compare finding one to winning the lottery. Makes you wonder how rare that really is, that deep connection.
Right. It really makes you appreciate those relationships. What I found interesting is they also say it's not about how long you've known someone, but the depth of understanding, right? Sometimes you meet someone and it just clicks. You're on the same wavelength.
So let's talk about that getting someone thing. The video mentions true friends being like anchors. What do you think they mean by that? What does a friend offer stability-wise that might be different from, say, family?
That's a good question. I think it's that sense of grounding, of security. They're a source of stability, especially when things feel chaotic. And I think the difference from family is that it's chosen, right? You choose your friends, they choose you, shared values, interests, experiences.
I see, yeah. With family, it's history, obligation, it's kind of a given. But with friends, it's more about a shared feeling of belonging, isn't it?
Exactly. It's empowering. Knowing someone gets you, sees the world the way you do, gives you confidence to be yourself, take risks, handle those challenges life throws at you.
So it goes deeper than just liking the same things,
hmm
right? It's like a shared perspective, a similar way of looking at the world, and a willingness to support each other through good and bad.
Exactly. And that connection, it's so valuable, especially as we get older and life gets more complex. It's like a built-in support system. You can be yourself, be vulnerable, no judgment.
Yeah, I love that. Like having a sounding board, someone to cheer you on and someone to be there when things get tough.
You got it. That kind of connection, it's rewarding emotionally and intellectually.
Now, the video shifts gears and starts talking about family nuclear versus joint families. I thought it was interesting how they presented both sides, the good and the bad, without saying one's better.
It's so true, right? Different family structures work for different people. There's no one right way to have a happy family.
Right. Joint families, they talk about the advantage of always having people around, learning from your elders. It's like a built-in community, that strong cultural connection.
And you share everything, the joy, the sorrow. You're never really alone in a joint family. It's always someone there to help guide you.
That's a good point. But they also mention downsides, like less privacy, more chances for conflict with so many people in one house.
For sure, and maybe things feel more rigid. Stricter rules, less freedom to be yourself, express yourself. It's a trade-off. You gain that community, but you might lose some independence.
And then they get to nuclear families. Peace and quiet, more personal space, and the freedom to make your own choices without having to think about a big extended family all the time.
It's presented as a trade-off too, right? More independence and flexibility, but maybe you're more lonely sometimes, or you face those challenges on your own without that big support system from a joint family.
It's like both have strengths and weaknesses. It comes down to your personality, what you value.
I think so. No right answer. It's about knowing the pros and cons and figuring out what works best for you and your family.
And even within those categories, there's so much variation. Every family is unique, its own history, its own way of doing things.
Absolutely. Makes you think how those different structures, how they shape how we see friendship, what we expect from our connections. It makes you think, right? Like if you grow up in a joint family, surrounded by relatives, maybe you're more picky about your friends.
That's interesting. Yeah, if you already have that constant community from your family, maybe you don't need a ton of friends.
Right. You'd want friends who bring something new, someone who makes you think differently or shares a passion that your family doesn't.
So it's not about more of the same. It's about expanding your world. It's like finding those diverse experiences to go with the family you already have.
Exactly. And on the flip side, if you're from a nuclear family, more independence, less built-in social connections, maybe you look for a bigger group of friends.
It's like you're creating that extended family yourself, filling that need for connection.
Yeah, I see that. Those friendships, they become even more important, right? They fill roles that in a joint family might be filled by your aunts, uncles, cousins.
It's like we adapt to our circumstances. No matter what family we come from, we find ways to meet those social and emotional needs.
It's like it's built into us, that need to connect. We're social beings. We want to belong, we want support, we want to feel understood.
Yeah, like we're wired for it. To
Yeah.
connect, share our experiences. It's those connections, family or friends, that make life feel, well, more complete.
But the video also talks about the tough stuff. Conflicts, disagreements, the need to compromise. It happens with family and friends.
Oh, for sure. No relationship is perfect, right? There are always going to be those bumps along the way. I guess it's how you handle them that really matters. Shows how strong the relationship is.
Absolutely. And they emphasize communication, being empathetic, seeing things from the other person's point of view.
Yeah.
It's a balance, standing up for yourself, but also respecting their needs.
Which sometimes means having those tough conversations, being honest about your feelings, and then working together to find a solution.
Yeah. And it's accepting that disagreements will happen. It's not about avoiding conflict. It's about knowing how to disagree respectfully. So it's actually productive.
And the video doesn't sugarcoat joint families either. They mention lack of privacy, all that noise, the potential for conflict, and stricter rules, expectations.
Yeah, I like that they brought that up. It's easy to think joint families are perfect, but they have their own challenges.
It makes it more realistic, right? Shows there are trade-offs with every family structure.
Exactly. And what one person sees as a negative, someone else might see as a positive. It comes down to what's important to you.
Like someone who really values their alone time, personal space. A joint family might feel overwhelming, but for someone who loves being around people, it's probably a very supportive, fulfilling way to live.
So it's about finding the best fit for you. That's a big takeaway from this video. There's no one right way to do family. It's about an environment that feels loving, supportive, respectful for everyone.
It's kind of funny. This video, it's for people learning English, but it got us talking about some really deep stuff. Relationships, friendship, family, belonging. These are things everyone thinks about, no matter where they're from.
I know, right? It shows how powerful stories can be. Just a simple conversation. But it touches on these really fundamental human experiences, and they do it in a way that's engaging, easy to understand, even if you're still learning the language.
I think that's why it resonated so much with us. It's not just about words and grammar. It's using language to explore, like, what it means to be human, to connect, to belong.
Totally. It reminds us that language isn't just about talking to each other. It's how we understand ourselves and the world, how we make sense of things, share our feelings, build those relationships.
So wrapping up this deep dive of what really stood out to you, anything that's surprised you or made you think differently about friendship or family?
I think it was how important both kinds of families are, the ones you choose and the ones you're born into. They showed the good and bad of each, but in the end, it's really celebrating all the different ways we connect with people, build those meaningful relationships.
Yeah, I love that. It's a good reminder that family isn't always just blood. It's the people who are there for you, who support you, who get you.
Yeah.
It's about finding your people, whether it's the family you were born with or the connections you make along the way.
And that's such an important message, especially now when things can feel so disconnected. We're not alone. We can create those relationships that bring us joy, give us meaning.
So one last thought for everyone listening. As you think about this conversation, what kind of connections are you building in your life? How are you showing up for the people you care about, family or friends?
Because those are the things that make life better. They give us purpose, something to celebrate, and someone to lean on when things are hard.
It's a good reminder. We're all connected in a way. We all want to belong, and we can create relationships that make life richer for ourselves and everyone around us. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive. And remember, cherish those connections and enjoy the time you have with the people who matter.